So I do realize that some of my videos are raw preludes to relevant topics and to real clear topics and topics that have certain unique clarity that inevitably turn into structure. So I do realize, like, sometimes there could be an overly rawness, and I accept your constructive criticism if it is to be that, and hopefully it's aligned with the higher maturity, and maturity actually, energy maturity, obviously through different layers of our body, being the alignment itself, being a different alignment to actually like be that heaven or be that bliss or be what everybody's talking about, but everyone's confused how to like, sustain it, transform with it, and how we got recreated or created from it, more or less, those all being the same and different. So I do realize that these are purposeful rants, respectively, and like that are pointing to a certain clarity and structure. And like within the video amount of time I have to like, do a video, it it kind of compresses it more so into like, there's time limits to be had, so just kind of realizing themes of life, that there's time limits. There's different types of instruments of time, the phone having memory, and the phone, being within your humanly time, and your humanly time being in within a back. What if we're in the backpack of just like some different god, Like that's how like trivial and silly this whole reality could be, because nothing's really far off from the truth when we got derived from imagination. But like the recent video was like very preludical and preludy, and within that preludicalness, it's hopefully you could realize with your level of rebalanced intelligence of how like you could actually understand what's being said without all the like, the biased emotional reactions. And from certain emotions, a certain part of your mind has an angle there and resides there, but your mind is the component to everything else, because your mind is like the subtle wind, more or less, that goes through the different elements and gathers the elemental DNA data of like from how the wind, a higher wind, is doing that. So, and I understand, like I understand, like, how like we could be talking about the same things in different expressions, and I think that might be like one of the most like coolest things ever, beautiful things ever, is like, like just natural like originality, but like not for me to be too ranty. Um Before I recorded the other previous rant, that like there was just like certain thoughts of themes relevant to the life, you know societal wise, your and your evolution wise, which I didn't get to like explain in the previous video, because like, me having a certain time limit, it's making me like only like express certain thoughts within like as much within like the time given I can. But on the most like subtle level, we're all trying to like kind of more or less, we're trying to like realize like how we could like extend our time, because in the end, if you think about it, that's what work really is on a standard secret neutral level of it. Like we're just working to have different free time, you're working for free time, and like it's just kind of like paraded with material objects and concepts that are like being done from like, really like weird points, because this weirdness, it's not nothing old or new. Nothing is nothing old or new. It's just being realized and revisited to us as we're growing through our lives, because a lot of this shit has been happening like long time ago, like the flying cars, like they've had that technology 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's just like it's like, are we incarnating to become a commoner for whatever reason? Are we incarnating to become someone in power for whatever time span, contract, whatever? Who knows what happens after death, but someone does, whatever. Or are we not reincarnating and we're just being a different observer, not engaging, being the real spirits that are like in a different neutral place, that are observing and not engaging or interacting? Something like like beyond a Star Trek kind of thing, like it's like kind of like neutral, like there's neutral observers that have nothing to do with this, but they're seeing it on levels like galaxies far away, because they're that advanced within their spirit. So and maybe we were that, but it's about memory, memory in the context of a certain type of alignment. But like, things bubble up, and you have to express your bubble within the wrap that you're given. And the wrap in this framework being the time span, um the time crunches in what we got to fulfill something within certain time that is given to us in the human life. And it's time, it's organic time, it's the most precious thing, because it's kind of like, it's the underneath subtle neutral layer that binds everything else together in a yin neutral way. And that yin neutral way, because it's a part of it, that element is an element we're working with our human to be a part of it, going under and above the material realm, time itself, and it being like just a product of different emissions and collisions respectively energetically. But like, the main point of this video right here is, what if we're always in a spiritual court of law every second, every moment? We just don't realize it like that. We're not even realizing it from that angle or perspective, but on the midst of it, we are always that, because every day is kind of compiling what we are as a life and how we're moving with nature's algorithm. And how we move with nature's algorithm is the balance and the exaltation of the principles being grounded with certain, like, responsibilities beyond what the human could conceive. Because for like preservation to be held on a like galactical level, then certain principles need to be exalted with certain action plans that have to be kind of like encapsulated within every corner that maintains and stabilizes spiritual cosmic bearings and angle systems, where there's already a prevalent, ever elusive expansive order within the relationship to like the cosmic chaos. Because the cosmic order and the cosmic chaos, their relationship is, it's like the foundation, it's of like, the chaos and the order in itself, it's the foundation to itself, because it's its own yin and yang paradox of how it has a higher order within those two collisions and a higher chaos, and within that there's a deeper neutral point. So, and I wrote that like, so like I wrote, honestly, I've been thinking about this stuff like probably since like this whole like, a part of myself probably thought of this before, like maybe even the earth was created, even before the earth was conceived. Maybe all of this was already created up, and that's how advanced God is. He's like billions of years ahead of us, and he's controlling every algorithm that you could think of possibly, and he's hypnotized everybody, and he's fed everybody's illusions within their paradox, polarity paradox, based on what you're following up on your overall desires. Because we're always in the spiritual court of law, and you best believe, mo fudges, that we will be held in a court of spiritual law after we die, neutrally and respectively. And I'm saying that for my own understanding and realization, because that's what it really already is. That's what it already is. It's like, but like, why would I mention it and why would I bring it up like that? Because I want to understand like how I could attune to fairness. That's the thing. It's like, but like, we're not all thinking like that, because we don't have like that proper suggestion, that lead insight, that lead intellect, that lead spirit. We don't have that. It's like on an energetic alchemical level, we're just like literally just pretending with that shit. So we're always in the spiritual court of law. And I'm saying that for me to realize that, like, okay, mate, that's for me to calm down, like whatever, like chit chat anybody could think of toxically, immaturely, it's already been done. Like what you're thinking, you like a joker, that's already been thought of. Like all that, like kindergarten immature thought forms, it's already been thought of. And guess what? There's other spirits that could read your mind. So nothing's hidden, and we are in the spiritual court of law. That's perfect balance. If you could read between the lines. Thank you.